My name is Ashley Trevino, and welcome to my digital presentation on qualitative methods. So let's go ahead and jump right in. What is qualitative research? Qualitative research is a way to collect, organize, and interpret information that is hard to put a number on. Think of things like perspectives, experiences, preferences, and processes. Qualitative research relies on a set of well-defined methodologies for collecting, organizing, and interpreting information. This type of research often occurs naturally in an environment based on observations, interviews, and things like focus groups. So, where do you begin? Well, a great place to begin is creating a qualitative research question. So let's talk about this. Qualitative research questions help direct your qualitative research. Consider different types of themes, for example, group interactions or patterns of behavior. Think about the why and the how of interactions of people. In the case of K through 12 school data, your question will be developed based on student or student and teacher interactions. What do you want to know about your students in your classroom? Remember, there is no pressure in creating the research question as it is flexible and often changes during the qualitative research process. So, how do you implement qualitative research? Be prepared for your role as the researcher. Depending on the design that you choose, you will more than likely be an observer and a participant. Be ready to be in the field. Qualitative research is all about purposeful sampling. In the case of gathering qualitative data on K through 12 students, you would more than likely seek out students in a school environment. Remember that your step-by-step process is to collect and then prepare and organize data, place your data into themes, think of coding, analyze such data, and then present it. But what is coding, you ask? Well, I'm glad to say that it's not exactly what it looks like here. Here is an example of the type of coding that we are talking about. Coding in research means you will decipher your notes that you take and label them into categories in order to help you when it comes time to analyze your data. Coding can range from something like one word to an entire passage. Think about your methods of data collection in your qualitative research. There are several different methods to choose from. They include the following: in-depth interviews, focus groups, observations, and documents. You may use all, a combination, or one of these methods. For in-depth interviews, you can have them structured as you need for your research. However, your questions should be open-ended to hear each participant's perspective. In the case of implementing qualitative research in the classroom, you can choose to interview each student individually. You can also choose to record the interviews to assist in your data collection. Now, let's go on to focus groups. Focus groups can be created as well, in any case you want to interview several students on a certain topic at one time. This format is helpful in allowing students to share their perspectives together in a group interaction setting. Observations means that you would be in the natural environment, taking field notes, or audio and visual recordings on the interactions that you see. In the case of researching in the classroom, you would look for student interactions in things like body language and facial expressions. Now let's move on to documents. Documents are things that come from things that already exist, like paperwork, journals, articles, books, and photos. So, consider what will you choose as a design for your qualitative research. Let's go ahead and take a look. Some designs to consider are the following: case study, ethnography, phenomenological study, grounded theory study, narrative inquiry, and content analysis. The case study design consists of observations, interviews, and written or audio-visual documents for data collection. The purpose of this design is to understand one person or situation in depth for a particular time period. Ethnography design is best used to understand the beliefs and practices of a cultural group. Ways of collecting data consists of observations, artifacts or document collections, surveys, and questionnaires. Phenomenological study is a design that uses in-depth interviews and purposeful sampling to understand a particular experience from the participant's perspective. purpose of a grounded theory study is to develop a theory from data that is collected through interviews and theoretical sampling. Narrative inquiry dives deep into understanding the experiences and stories of individuals through things like autobiographical writings, in-depth interviews, and photographs. The purpose of content analysis is to determine unique properties of particular material in order to determine patterns, focusing on deals with text, visual, or behavioral forms of communication through sampling specific material. Remember, there are many advantages in choosing to implement qualitative research. The purpose of this type of research is to reveal the nature of particular relationships, processes, or situations. It will help you gain insight into a topic and possibly uncover key problems. It can also help you develop new theories. I enjoyed speaking about qualitative research with you today, and on the next little slide I have will show my works cited.